crimes, Chief Clerk, so we can withdraw those when we come time. So let's start. Okay. The fourth and final day of the 8th special session of the 21st Congress will now come to order. We all bow our heads for a moment of silent prayer, and please to remember our Chief Clerk and Senator Ursumo in our prayers. Okay, Chief Clerk, call the roll.
Senator Aritas, Senator Christian, Senator Figuer,
Yes.
Senator Colan, Floor Leader Harper,
Amen.
Senator Conman,
Amen.
Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Palag,
Yes.
Senator Perman,
Amen.
Senator Romulo,
Yes.
Senator Uruzamal,
Abstain.
Senator Wali,
Good morning from Guam.
Morning Chairman, Speaker Simena,
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 11 members are present.
We do have a quorum to transact business today. Reading of the journal, Floor Leader Harper.
As usual, Mr. Speaker, I want to greet you this morning. Good morning, and all honorable members, as well as our staff, and all those who are observing our session within our localities or anywhere in the world. And now I move that we dispense with the reading of the journal. Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we dispense with the reading of our journal. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. We now dispense with the reading of the journal. Next item, Chief Clerk.
The next item is item 5, Presidential Communications. We are in receipt of 2, and they are numbers 211-437 and 211-438.
Okay, sign those, Chief Clerk. Next item.
Next item is item 6, FSM Supreme Court Communications. There are currently no communications, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, continue.
Next item is item 7, Member Communications. None also, Mr. Speaker. The next item is item 8, Departmental Communications. We are in receipt of 1, and it's number 21-80.
Okay, I signed that. Chief Clerk.
Point of privilege, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, your point.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask to raise on a point of privilege to state some information before we go down on our agenda today as we discuss issues and maybe some issues that will be need for this pandemic. I read a text that 2 confirmed cases of COVID-19 has been confirmed in the RMI on Coachella, I believe. So I wish to state this
information so we know as we go on our agenda, in case we would discuss issues that would relate to COVID-19 and repatriation of our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that sobering news. Yes, I think some of us, or most of us, if not all, have seen that. And we need to continue to take those kind of information, updated information into our consideration. Okay, so continue, Chief Clerk.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the next item is item 9, agency or governmental authority communications. None, Mr. Speaker. Item 10, state communications. None also, Mr. Speaker. Item 11, state Supreme Court communications. None also, Mr. Speaker. Item 12, municipal or town communications. None at the moment also, Mr. Speaker. And item 13, foreign government communications. None also, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, we're now on our order of the day. Item 14, standing committee reports. Any reports, Chief Clerk?
None, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next item, special committee report. Any special committee report?
There are also no special committee reports at the moment, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next item.
The next item is item 16, assignment of measures and communications. Kindly refer to referral sheet number 21-113.
Okay, Chairman and members, take note of that for your planning purposes. Next item.
Unfinished business, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next item is bill calendar. First bill, Chief Clerk.
The first bill under item 18 for bill calendar is CB number 21-325 CD1 for second and final reading. CB number 21-325 CD1 is a bill to appropriate the sum of $8,400,000 from the general fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2021 for the purpose of funding priority infrastructure projects and other public projects and social programs for the people of Yap, Koshai, Pohnpei, and Juk states and for other purposes.
Chairman Fakir. Chairman Fakir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress pass CB number 21-325 CD1 on second and final reading. Discussion. Any discussion?
Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I have a floor amendment to offer on the said bill. It's quite lengthy, so I ask the reading of it be dispensed with. So move.
Second.
That's been moved and seconded that the offer for amendment to CP 21-325 CD1 offered by Chairman Perman be adopted. Because of its length, we will dispense with its reading. Chairman Floor Leader.
Yeah, Speaker. Again, good morning to you. I move to suspend any relevant rule that may impede our action on the said amendment by Berman, especially the one that prohibit substantive amendment on second reading.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the relevant rules, specifically the rules prohibiting substantive amendments on second and final reading, be suspended. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. The relevant rules are now suspended at this point. So discussion on the offered floor amendment.
Speaker.
Short list subject to call to chair. Let's go back. Congress is back in session. We're discussing the offer for amendment. Vice Speaker Moses, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to you, members, and all those observing. I have an oral amendment I wish to make on the said offered floor amendment by Chairman Perman. And it's on page 3, item 11, sub-item A, after the word net, insert comma, road paving. Sub-item B, after the word net, comma, road paving. Item C, after the word net, also, comma, road paving. Sub-item D, after U, comma, road paving. Sub-item E, after U, comma, road paving. Sub-item F, after U, also, comma, road paving. Sub-item G, after causeway, comma, improvement, road improvement. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Second.
And I have it written down on the copied amendment. I will be passing it on to Chief Clerk.
Okay, thank you for that. That would be helpful to our staff. It has been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments to the offered for amendment, and those are offered by Vice Speaker Moses, be adopted. Okay, any discussion on the offered oral amendments?
So, Mr. Speaker, may
Yes,
I ask that I be excused for the day?
yes, you may be excused. Okay, any further discussion on the offered oral amendments? If none, there's an objection. Discussion is closed, so let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offered oral amendments to the offered for amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. The offered oral amendments to the proposed for amendments are adopted. Okay, continue discussion on the for amendment.
Yes,
Thank you,
Speaker.
Moses, thank you. Yes,
Speaker.
Chairman Figueroa.
Yeah, thank you, Speaker, and I think it's good that we start from the top down. And I have an oral amendment that I wish to offer at this time, and it's technical. However, I want to make it formal. On page 1, after the in alphabet B, in parentheses, insert before Congress, insert the following phrase: YAP Congressional Delegation Land Acquisition and Construction, 250,000. I so move.
And
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Chairman Fakir to the proposed for amendment.
Yeah, 205,000. That's the amount. Yeah, the amount is correct.
Okay, yes, we will work it out with Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, is it 205 or 250?
205. What's it's written on the proposed amendment?
Okay, so it has been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Chairman Fakir be adopted. Discussion on it. Any discussion? If none, if there's no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offered oral amendments to the proposed four amendments, say aye.
aye.
Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. We now have a proposed for amendment that's been amended orally twice. Okay, continue discussion on the offered for amendment. Okay, Pushai? Chairman?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also have an oral amendment that I wish to offer to the amendment by Chairman Berman. On item 7, page 2, sub-item J, where it says Kusai State Court subsidy, insert the amount 50,000. So move.
Okay.
Second.
But in that, you almost give the judiciary zero.
Yes. Thank
So it's
you.
been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendment by Chairman Willie be adopted. Any discussion on it? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offered oral amendments by Chairman Willie, say aye.
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 Motion carried. The offered oral amendments by Chairman Willie to the proposed oral amendments are adopted. Okay. Anything else from
Speaker.
Kushan? Anything else from Kushan? If none,
That's it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That's all.
none for the bond pay. Chairman
Yeah,
Berman.
thank you. Yeah, thank you, Speaker. I also have an oral amendment to offer. And on page 2, line 9, sub-item A, B, C, and on page 3, E, H, I, J, K. All paving roads, alati will be PTA. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Second.
Amended that the offered oral amendments by Chairman Berman be adopted, and Chairman Berman will make sure that Chief Clerk get all the specific the details. Okay, discussion on the offered oral amendments by Chairman Berman. Any
Question.
discussion? If none, if there's no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offered oral amendments by Chairman Berman, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. The offered oral amendments by Chairman Berman to his proposed four amendments are adopted. Okay, continue, Senator Christian.
Thank you, Speaker. On page 2 of the offered amendment by Senator Berman, item 8, take all of that out from A to P and will be substituted by an item that is headed 600,000 wish list, which I will submit to the Chief Clerk in lieu of that those things being excused, taken out, excised, thrown out, kicked out, and so forth, and so forth. I so move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendment by Senator Christian to the proposed for amendment by Chairman Berman be adopted. Discussion. Any discussion? Short recess subject to call of the chair. So Congress is back in session. Let's vote on the offered oral amendments by Senator Christian. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carried. The offered oral amendments by Senator Christian to the proposed for amendment by Chairman Berman are adopted. Okay, continue discussion on the proposed for amendments. Chairman Net, you have any?
None, Speaker. Thank you. I'm good.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Duke delegation. Chairman Coleman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I also have an oral amendment I wish to make to the original amendment. Please bear with me. I have submitted my breakdown, but somehow they don't have it. So I will have to read it out from letter A to letter P. Page 2, between 19 and 20, insert the following. Letter A, housing, SNAS, multi-purpose renovation and improvements.
Shortages.
Shortages subject to Congress back in session. You still have the floor, Chairman Conman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I once again wish to offer an oral amendment due to the written amendment by Senator Berman. So move, Mr. Speaker.
And
Second.
it has been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Chairman Conman to the offered floor amendment by Chairman Berman be adopted. It will be submitted in written form to Chief Clerk for inclusion in the bill. So discussion on the offered floor amendment, offered oral amendment. If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the offered oral amendment by Chairman Conman, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. So the offered oral amendments to the proposed floor amendment by Chairman Berman are now adopted. So next amendment, discussion, continue. You have any, Chairman Romulo?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to offer an oral amendment to the said amendment. On page 5, item A, delete the amount 50 and insert the amount 40. Item B, delete the amount 50, insert the amount 45. And after the last item, insert item O, musical instrument, 15,000. So I'll move, Speaker.
Okay, any second?
Second.
Moved and seconded
Second.
that offered oral amendment by Chairman Romulo to the proposed four amendments by Chairman Berman be adopted. Discussion. Any discussion?
Speaker,
Yes, Florida Harbor, discussion on the offered for oral amendment by.
yeah, I must really apologize because I think I have to be out of order for a while. I don't have anything to say about the offer oral amendment by Romulo, but I just want to ask him if in his total figure of 600,000, he has something for paying back their previous application to other agencies or, because as I understand, Romulo, you people are still owing me that 12,000 for previous, activities. Do you have anything for that?
Thank you, Mrs. Floor Leader. As you can see, I have my P-Oil payment for prior and current P-Oil and charter. So I believe that would take care of.
Okay, thank you so much.
There you have
Mr.
it.
Romulo.
Any further discussion on the offered oral amendment by Chairman Romulo? If none, if there's no objection, discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offered oral amendments by Chairman Romulo, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. Florida Harbor, you have any?
No, I'm okay with my breakdown already.
Any further discussion on the floor amendment?
Question.
Amendment as, amended several times orally. Questions been called for. There's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of the offered floor amendment by Chairman Berman to CP 21-325 CT1 as orally amended several times, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. The offered oral floor amendments by Chairman Berman as orally amended several times are adopted. We now have CT2. Any further discussion on CT2? Any further discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote by roll call of delegations. Chairman Romulo will cast a vote for true. Chief Clerk, call the roll.
State of Chuk, Chairman Aritos, Chairman Romulo, I'm sorry.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Berman.
Hey, mine.
State of Koshai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Figure.
Chairman Figuer will cast a vote for Yap.
Chairman Figure.
Yeah, the vote is, I'm not happy, but my vote is yes.
Mr. Speaker, all four states voted for.
For that reason, CP number 21-325 CD2 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
The next bill under the bill calendar is CP number 21-318 for second and final reading. CP number 21-318 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 20-93 as amended by Public Laws numbers 20-98, 20-120, 20-133, 21-98, and 21-162 by amending sections 1 and 2 thereof to change the use and allotment of funds previously appropriated therein to fund priority infrastructure projects and other public projects and social programs in the state of Koshai and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-318. Discussion. Any discussion?
Mr. Speaker,
Yes,
Speaker.
Vice Chairman Palik.
thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Good morning. Chairman Willie, just for your information, in consultation with the Devonsac leadership, I understand that funding has been provided for electrical extension already, and they have asked that we change the purpose to address their other needs, which is the senior citizen and youth building for 20,000. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
All right. Thank you.
So that is already incorporated in the bill itself, Vice Chairman Palik.
Yes.
Okay, so that's good. All right, any further discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of delegations. Chipper,
State of Chug, Chairman Romolo.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman.
Amen.
State of Koshai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Figure.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all four states voted for.
for that reason, CP number 21-318 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
The next bill is CP number 21-334 for second and final reading. CP number 21-334 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 18-70 as amended by Public Laws numbers 18-98, 18-112, 18-122, 19-07, 19-24, 19-41, 19-52, 19-73, 19-82, 19-101, 19-114, 19-139, 20-07, 20-16, 20-36, 20-52, 20-84, 20-85, 21-123, 21-175, and 21-192 by amending Section 2 thereof to change the use of certain funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding public projects and social programs for the people of Yap State and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
Second.
Second.
And seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 21-334. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there is no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of delegations. Chipper,
For the state of Chug, Chairman Romolo.
Amen.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman.
Amen.
State of Koshai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Figure.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all four states voted for.
CP number 21-334 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
There are no more bills, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, if there's no objection, we will now vote on to the resolution calendar. Any resolution prepared?
Speaker.
Any resolution prepared?
There are none at the moment, Mr. Speaker.
Okay.
Speaker.
Councilman Berman, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, I would like to make a motion to withdraw the following resolutions and place it under our resolution calendar for today.
Okay.
Resolution 21-207, 21-212, 21-213, 21-214, 21-216, 21-217, and 21-218. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Second.
Has been moved, seconded that the following resolutions, 21-207, 213, 214, 216, 217, and 218 be withdrawn from committee and placed on the resolution calendar for action. Any relevant rules to suspend floor? Or we could?
Speaker, I think everything is good. There
Okay.
is no need to make motion to suspend since this is the last day of our session.
Okay, so let's vote. Those in favor of the motion to withdraw and place those resolutions, say aye.
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 Motion carried. The resolutions are now withdrawn from committee and placed on the resolution calendar for action. Okay, first resolution, Chief Clerk. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. The Congress is back in session. We have some resolutions that were withdrawn from committee and placed on the resolution counter for action. So Chief Clerk, first resolution.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the first resolution is CR number 21-207 for adoption. CR number 21-207 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant from the United States Department of Health and Human Services, Public Health Services Administration, in the amount of $160,000 to support and fund the FSM Department of Health and Social Affairs Family Planning Program, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Chairman Berman.
So move, Mr. Speaker.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-207. Discussion. Any discussion?
Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Christian?
under the term family planning, is it planning to have many children or to plan to have few children?
I think to have the right number of children. Take it away from here. What's the answer? But that's a legitimate question. Is it planning for smaller families or bigger families? Which one? Which is it?
Just extend the house.
Chairman Berman, you have no answer? Huh? Okay, so maybe
Well, actually that question came up and basically is how much you can afford.
yeah, so it's in correlation with your income, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So with all these social projects, programs that we've been meting out, yeah, maybe that's contributing to larger families. Okay. So any further discussion on the resolution? If none, there is no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of resolution number 21-207, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution number 21-207 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
The next resolution is CR number 21-212 for adoption. CR number 21-212 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant in the amount of $181,052 from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration to fund and support the FSM Department of Health and Social Affairs and its Behavioral Health and Wellness Program, or PHWP, for the Community Mental Health Services CMHS project, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Chairman Berman. Chairman Berman.
Motion to adopt 21-212. So move.
Second.
That's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-212. Discussion. Any discussion on that? If none, there's no objection.
Speaker,
Yes, Florida Harbor.
Speaker, I just simply want to say that I've been really wondering, how much all this money have gone to the real purpose. Because, I have had experience with my own son and other Turkish youth who have been, in that kind of mental disability as they are, not functioning well mentally. And I have never seen all these people from public health or hospital to come around and, give them the right treatment, or at least give them some, guidelines or guidance as to what they should be doing. So that's my curiosity, where all this money have been going. Because, as I said, we have not been seeing any improvement in the people who are supposed to be taking advantage of the money. So that's the only thing I want to mention here.
Thank you, Floor Leader Arbor. That's a legitimate concern being raised, and I hope Chairman Berman will take note of that so he can find out with regards to what's these programs been doing. Yes, Senator Christian, we're still discussing.
Yes, I simply wish to join floor leader in that comment or maybe my lack of being aware that there actually is something being done on the road, on the ground about this. But we also need to maybe take it one step further, and that treatment in itself does not do it. There must be a sense of upbringing in responsibility that comes through some jobs, job creation, a bit of, I'll get up because I have to go pick up some stuff from the road, or you can't just keep treating these people. We need to give them something meaningful to hang on to. Maybe not all of them will come out of this as a success story, but maybe 2 out of 100, and that would be a success story. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Christian. That's really true. I think we cannot just treat, but we have to give them the opportunity to develop by themselves, personally. And I think that's so. Chairman Berman, please take note of those 2 concerns raised by our 2 colleagues. They are legitimate concerns. Okay.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of resolution number 21-212, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution number 21-212 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
Number 21213 for adoption. CR number 21213 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant in the amount of $101,451 from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to support and fund the FSM Department of Health and Social Affairs Preventive Health and Health Services, or PHHS, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Okay, Chairman Berman.
Motion to adopt CR 21-213. So move.
And second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-213. Any discussion? This our health agency has been very creative in finding these programs, and I'm impressed. I wish they can, do likewise on local initiatives. Okay, any further discussion on that? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of resolution number 21-213, say aye. Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carried. Resolution number 21-213 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, the next resolution is CR number 21-214 for adoption. CR number 21-214 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant in the amount of $175,013 from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration to fund and support the FSM Department of Health and Social Affairs and its Behavioral Health and Wellness Program, or PHWP, in implementing the Substance Abuse Prevention and Treatment, or SAPT, services, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Okay, Chairman Berman.
Yes. Motion to adopt 21-214. So move.
And
Second.
Can I,
seconded.
Speaker, I want to ask the chairman a question.
with resolution number 21-214. Discussion. Ask your question
Can
now.
Okay. Chairman, what's the difference between the last one that we adopted and this one?
Yes.
Well, if you look at the resolution on the first one, it's regards, yes, the 2 pages, rape or sexual assault.
Okay. So this one is for,
Mental health.
okay. Yeah, so there's that distinction. One is for the other kind. This one is for the other kind. One is mental, one is physiological, biological.
One is physically abused and one is mentally abused.
Okay. So
Right.
any discussion?
Mentally abused and was the substance thing, yeah. I thought the same thing.
One is physical, one is mental. So,
No, but I want to see the example of mentally abused, because one may be mentally disabled or has mental disability, but mentally abused, is that like asking Lamb to think a lot about my
Yes.
projects and programs and justifications?
yes.
I think, never mind.
Okay. Any further discussion on the resolution?
Question,
If none, if there's no objection, discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of resolution number 21-214, say aye. Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carried. Resolution number 21-214 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
The next resolution is CR number 21-216 for adoption. CR number 21-216 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant from the United States Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration, or HRSA, in the amount of $187,388 to fund and support the maternal and child health services program of the FSM Department of Health and Social Affairs, including all the terms and conditions
You completed? Okay. Chairman Permit?
so move for its adoption.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-216. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of resolution number 21-216, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Resolution number 21-216 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
resolution is CR number 217 for adoption. CR number 21-217 is a resolution accepting from the United States Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration, or HRSA, in the amount of $130,725 to fund and support the maternal and child health services program of the FSM Department of Health and Social Affairs, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Chairman Permit?
So move to adopt 21-217.
Any second? Second. Been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-217. Discussion. Any discussion?
Speaker,
Florida Harbor?
yeah, the same question that was raised by Senator Chris, the previous two resolution relating to substance abuse. I think the same question is raised now. Those two seems to be the same language. Besides that, I really want to know as to what kind of indicators would tell us that the programs are really successful in FSM.
Okay, Chairman Berman?
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Speaker. Remember, a little bit way back, we passed a piece of legislation that after the completion of all of this, the not only completion, but I think they will report it, progress report. If I'm not mistaken, it should be around March when they will give us the report on all the grants that's given to the nation. So I'm
April.
hoping that by April, right? So I'm hoping by then we will have a complete report on all of these grant that is actually questions been raised upon. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Because now I don't have answers. Yes, I'm like you, floor leader. I'm looking at it is to me it's like the same resolution but different amount.
Well, I
Same
guess
grant. I'm sorry.
we're kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt this time because they're very much involved. The Department of Health and Social Affairs is very much involved in this pandemic, the task force and all the activities. So we kind of give them a slack on that on this one this year for FY20. But I hope by next year, if things turns around and we can demand and hold them to that requirement of this the reporting requirement on all these federal grants. So we should remember that, keep that in mind, especially you, Chairman Berman. Make sure that by next year, when we're out of this, or at least find ourselves out of this pandemic, we can start demanding and requiring and getting those reports on all these federal grants. So thank you for that. Any further discussion?
Speaker.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, I saw one of the grant award documents, and in that document, either the grant award or the work plan, where certain criteria or expected outcomes of the programs are listed. And I'm sure that our government has to pay attention to those and secondly, provide those reports to the federal government. It's a matter of providing those reports to Congress that it has some details, performance indicators. One of the grants I actually saw criterias and even the expected outcomes. I even questioned, there is a section there that I would like to see, and that is on the specific breakdown of the grant. And one of the grants is all direct costs. There's no breakdown on personnel, administration, fixed assets, or other items. But with respect to the reporting, there are certain reports required by the federal government that we submit, that we have to submit. So perhaps we can have the department provide us copies of those reports. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, thank you very much, Senator Palik. That's true. So, any further discussion? If none, no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of resolution number 21-217, say aye. Opposed, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Resolution number 21-217 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
The next resolution is CR number 21-218 for adoption. CR number 21-218 is a resolution approving and accepting a grant from the United States Department of Education, Office of Special Education Programs, in the amount of $2,844,888.90 to fund and support the FSM Special Education Program under Part B of the Individuals with Disabilities in Education Act, including all the terms and conditions of the assistance.
Okay, Vice Chairman Panik.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move for the adoption of the said resolution.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 21-218. Discussion. Any discussion on that? If none, there is no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of adoption of resolution number 21-218 or 218, say aye.
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 Motion carried. Resolution number 21-218 is adopted by Congress. Next resolution, Chief Clerk.
There are no more resolutions, Mr. Speaker.
We have some nominations that I saw in the committee to wait on the president's report. Any
Short,
short
please.
recess subject to call of the chair?
There's less
floor's resolutions. Okay,
Okay.
so let's go back. Congress is back in session. Any more resolution, Chief Clerk? I guess short recess up to the call of the chair. Let's go back.
I
Congress is back in session.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
Are there any more resolutions, Chief Clerk?
There are no more resolutions, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, if no objection, we go on to our calendar. Next item.
The next item is item 20, introduction of bills and resolutions.
If you have any measure to introduce, pass them on to Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item 21, miscellaneous communications. There are no communications under this item, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, next item.
Item 22, miscellaneous business.
Okay. Any miscellaneous business by members?
Yes,
Amen.
Speaker.
Okay, Floor Leader Harbert.
Yeah, I have few miscellaneous business to make this morning. First, I know many of you will be tired of my, keep bringing up this issue on our PCT. Since my coming in 2011, in the 17th Congress, until now, I have not been very satisfied with the way our PCTs for our projects have been handled. And when I look at the employees of the budget, I seem to curious as to whether that one person that they normally refer to or question when we ask about PCT, what's her name? Molina or what's her name? I forgot.
Molina.
Yeah.
Correct.
Time we asked, they said, "Oh, Molina is having a funeral, or Molina is at the hospital, or Molina is this and all that." And I've been wondering whether she's the only person reviewing all the PCDs for our state projects. Imagine if we have 10, each of us, project PCD, that means she's going to review 140 PCTs. And I believe that's one of the reasons why, our PCTs have been delayed because of that only one person handling everything. These days, I have known a new name, which is coming up now, called McCann or something like that. I don't know whether a lady
Aiken.
or a man, but I don't know whether she's working along with Molina. But if she does, then why are our PCTs are still delayed? Not on time. They're still, being in the budget office for 1 month or so. And if that McCann is, not really working with Molina, then maybe we should ask the Ways and Means Committee to, be serious and into looking into this thing, and then budget one or two people to work with Molina to, just, review our PCTs and give it to SOS for review for advice of allotment to be issued. And that's another thing. When Molina is able to finish up whatever she can, it goes to SOS. And when they said, oh, meet us 3 or 4 PCTs are with SOS. And when we ask about SOS, they say, oh, SOS said he won't come today, or SOS is at the funeral, or SOS is somewhere in town. And I don't know whether we also need to, hire someone to be assistant to SOS, so that when SOS is absent, the assistant can review the work of Molina and issue advice of allotment, so that things can keep moving, so that our projects will be implemented, and income for our governments and our people will be available as soon as possible. So that's one thing I really need to apologize for bringing up all the time. It is simply because I have never been satisfied with the way our PCDs are being handled at the budget office. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, I would like to take this opportunity to express on behalf of the presiders our sincere thanks and gratitude to all our staffs, as well as our honorable colleagues, members of this Congress, for all the great and hard work that they have all put into this session, which has made this session successful. Although we only work within 4 days, I think we've accomplished a lot comparing the number of days that we've been meeting to handle things during this special session. So I really thank you, staff, members, for all those hard work that you have put into our session. Mr. Speaker, furthermore, I would like to move that all the journals of the first day until today will be engrossed by the appropriate staff and be reviewed and approved by the presiders. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the presiders are authorized to review all our journals and records, approve them. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
carried. So be it. Okay. Thank you for your concern, for leader, about the PCT. I think all of us go through that, frustration to different extent, but I do feel that's a shared concern for all of us. And I hope Ways and Means can look into have an oversight with the budget and see how we can help, alleviate that by either increasing or putting in a few more positions so that they can work. I know they're sometimes overwhelmed by the number of PCTs that were sent, because it's not only members of Congress or it's not only the authorities or that send in PCTs. We have the departments also sending in, agencies sending in their own. So it's not that their desks are free of PCT papers, but they're actually swamped with basically every time. So we need to work on that. And you're correct. Maybe we can have German and Ways and Means Committee look into how we can at least help budget be able to work with all this backlog or workloads that they're dealing with. Okay, any other miscellaneous business? Senator Christian, your finger is
Mr.
reaching.
Speaker, I'd like to recommend that from your office, we do buck slips. so that we know which desk documents are at and for how long documents have been at that particular desk. Because the issue that was brought up by floor leader is one that I alluded to earlier in my not in session remarks about if we, the members of Congress, don't get up and become worried about why this project is not moving, there's no one in the executive beside the president and vice president who are elected officials who really care about whether these projects move or not. As a matter of fact, the more money that does not move, the happier the Secretary of Finance is. And if projects don't move, Secretary Apis does not give a hoot unless I go and say, Secretary Apis, can you check into this project why it's not moving? And so not to repeat what floor leader said, yes, there is need to review the process of getting these fundings out to the public as quickly as we can by hiring maybe more people in those particular areas. Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Floor Leader? No, I
Thank
didn't
you.
ask you, Mr. Speaker. I asked Floor Leader and you're shaking your head.
Thank
Well,
you.
no, you're asking him. He's the one who raised the problem in the first place. I understand you're just supporting his statement. And okay, thank you, Senator Christian. I understand the process can be frustrating because of either lack of workers present or actually just lack of people dealing with this, overwhelming loads of PCDs or paperworks. But what I do worry about is this thing becoming a systematic way of either hindering or stymieing the execution or the implementation of projects in the communities. That's what I'm concerned about. So I hope that's not the case. But we need to also look at that and whether this system, these processes have been used to, hinder, to stymie the implementation of projects. But I hope that can be sorted out by our Ways and Means Committee if they feel like having an oversight on those. Okay. Any other miscellaneous? Yes, Chairman Figueroa?
Yeah, I'm planning to have a public hearing sometime, and I've been coordinating with Chairman Perman to work with the staff and the Department of Finance and relevant departments to have an oversight and also a public hearing, combine the two on a bill to expand the mitigation fund to other businesses. And
The what?
since Chairman Perman is present in Pohnpei and in Palikir, he's going to be coordinating with the Secretary of Finance and make sure that when we schedule meetings, they don't have scheduled conflicts with other international conferences. So I just want to announce to members to be on the lookout, if not next week, the following week, but before the session in November.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman Figueroa, for that. And I hope you can squeeze in some of the concerns raised by Floor Leader Harper and Senator Christian on this PCT issue, and also have that discussed during your oversight on this on that measure. Okay, you want to say
Mr.
something?
Speaker,
Senator?
yes.
Floor?
Please don't mention Floor Leader and Peter Christian because there is a whiplash effect when a member of Congress' name is mentioned as being the person who complained. They can take my file and put it underneath every other people's file. And that has happened in the past.
Yes, thank you for that. So you should not have said something about the same thing because it's recorded. It's online. Big Ben can just go on, read it, and he will see it. Same as every finance worker. I guess they're starting to enjoy watching our, recorded proceedings, so they know what we're saying about them or something like that. But anyway. Thank you. Yes, Senator Christian, I'm sure our good chairman and members of Ways and Means will exercise discretion when they discuss those issues. Any other miscellaneous business, Chairman Perman?
Speaker, I don't have miscellaneous, but I do have an announcement. So regarding the hearing on the what Chairman Figure just talked about.
On expanding the mitigation.
Yes, it will be on Wednesday next week at 10 a.m. YAP time. So 10 a.m. Our time. 11 a.m. our time.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So that answers your question, your query, Chairman Fakir. So it's already set for Wednesday next week. I hope all members of Ways and Means and those who are interested in those issues are willing to participate. Okay, anything else? Chairman Ned? Oh, Senator Palik?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I have one minor miscellaneous. One of the key strategic initiative of this country is to enhance our digital capability and improved internet speed and connectivity. The president submitted a bill, I believe it's 21-276, on the transfer of certain assets and liabilities from FSM Telecommunication to OAE. The ball is on our court, Mr. Speaker. I think this is a very important bill that Congress must act on it one way or another. Public hearing has been conducted. I understand from the communication received from the President's office the implication of this bill on the World Bank financing in general, in particular EMC cable connectivity to Koshrai. And I wish to share, Mr. Speaker, that the leadership of Koshrai is having a meeting next week to discuss its position on this particular bill, as it's very important not only to the nation but also to Koshrai State. As I said, the ball is on our court. We need to act one way or another. We'll meet through this program, and I know that there are some tough decisions to be made. But to debate the bill and vote on it, I think we must do it so that we can move forward. I believe the executive branch is also hoping that Congress would act on this particular bill. Again, for one, I have not made my decision. There are many, many questions, unanswered questions I have. And next week, I will be meeting with the Koshrai leadership, who is interested also in sharing with me their views. And Chairman Willie, I will share with you discussions on this particular bill. But my point, Mr. Speaker, is that this is one of the key programs for this nation. And if my information is correct, that we've drawn about 70 million already under the program, remaining 30 million to be advanced. But there are certain terms and conditions under this funding that must be adhered to. and some of which are incorporated into the proposed bill that was transmitted by the President's office. So I hope that Congress would take responsibility to act on it. I know public hearing has been conducted. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Senator Palik. Yes, it's an important issue. All the more reason we have to be cautious and prudent in how we approach it. We should not just rush it through just because it's important. We have to make sure that we do it right, because it is part of our, economy and our economic development and social development. So it is important for that reason that we take a cautious approach to it. Okay, Senator Berman, you have any miscellaneous business?
No, just to add on to what Vice Chairman Palik said. Hey, Chairman Palik, you're on satellite. No buffering whatsoever. You're in good hands with the communication from Telecom. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other miscellaneous business from members? John Wale, you have any?
I'm okay, thank you. Speaker.
Thank you. Okay, Chairman Figure, any?
I just want to advance my concern on the matter. I have a lot of concern regarding that. We're running a democratic government. We're not dictatorship. And I think the issue can be easily settled between the two entities. And I'm concerned about our very own telecom. I just want to flag that in advance. I need more legal opinion from the staff and others. There was a legal opinion issue out. I wasn't satisfied with it. I don't think any government should come and yank my property out of me without my consent. That's all.
Thank you. Yes, I guess a lot of us share the same concern that you have, Chairman Fakir, on the legal opinion that was issued. Even more bothersome is the implication it has on our world standing in terms of how receptive we are to doing business, especially with regards to contractual applications that were created between parties that are not the national government. Okay, Chairman Ned, do you have any miscellaneous business?
And thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Ned. Chairman Conman, you have any miscellaneous, including announcement? We just put them together.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I have none.
Okay, thank you. I have no miscellaneous business. I think Floor Leader Harbor already spoke on our behalf with regards to our appreciation to everyone and everything. And I just want to flag a few things that I would want our staff to look into. When we decided not to suspend the diversion of fund of the fishing access fees to the trust fund, we did that based on some understanding that a bunch of Section 9 unallotted funding will be acted upon either this session or next session to come up with the remaining funding that's needed for our state priority infrastructures projects. And we are now ending our session, and I have not seen or heard of anything coming through the pipeline from the executive branch. And that is disconcerting to me because they told us and we relied on those kind of statements in making policy decisions whether to suspend or not to suspend the diversion of or the access fishing access fees to the trust fund. And the other thing I would like to also flag, I want our staff to work with the Department of Justice and the Finance. They've been telling us about this, their request for Department of Labor, U.S. Department of Labor's legal opinion on the validity of our taxes and social security tax, income and social security taxes on the FPUA and PUA. And we know the marshals have indicated that they were allowed to do it, tax I think the PUA. And so far, we haven't heard anything back since June. It was in June or July when they told us that they were seeking an opinion. So I don't know it can take this long. So I will just assume that they're lying to us, that they're going to get the internet, getting it to us. And I don't particularly like to be lied to. I accept people's explanations, but when things like this go on this long without any explanation at all, it kind of make me feel that they are misleading us on these very critical, important issues. So I want our legal staff to continue to look into that, because come next session, if we do not have anything, I am prepared to take drastic measures on this with the blessing of Congress. What we can do, we will look into it. Yeah, and aside from that, I know we just heard that the marshals got 2 cases of infection virus. So this thing is really getting closer. We're now being emptied. We're now in between Guam and the marshals, and that's not comforting. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not, feeling good about this new information that we just got. So all the more reason I would like to ask our chairman on HSA, Chairman Perman, please work even more with our task forces to make sure that we get things right, we get ready, we get prepared, because we don't know. This thing just keeps getting closer to us, to our borders, and we must be ready when even when it arrives in our islands. So I thank you again, gentlemen. I join the floor leader in thanking you for taking time out for us to have this special session, for the very short special session. And I think we accomplished basically what we came here to do, except on the revenue side of things. I'm, like I pointed out, I'm concerned about all these millions that finance kind of tangled in front of us and made us really salivate at those money, and yet they failed as of now to give us those sources. So I hope we can get those in the next few days. And the last thing I want to share with us is the timing of our next special session. When do you gentlemen want us to get together next? We'll issue a polling again, but
Speaker.
from you, so we can plan along those lines. Yes, Chairman Berman.
Yes, Speaker. For our next session, I'll be recommending that, well, because of our declaration will come to, expires in November. So I would like us to, if we can, either a week or 2 weeks before it expires, we come together so we can actually look at it and try to screen out what we needed to amend in the declaration. On the other one, when you touch that the COVID is closing, now it's in the marshals or quads closer. I've actually raised a few times. I've had meeting with the head of the task force, the chairman, the vice chairman, and the secretary of justice. I think what we have actually discussed is the most important thing is, for example, what Fiji is doing. Fiji is catching the virus at their borders, making sure that they don't catch it in the communities. And so their main concentration is at the borders to make sure that if it gets in, they catch it at the border, treat it, and make sure before they release it back to. So this is what been raised to those three when they have meetings with the task force with both Pompey, Chuk, Yap, Kushai, the entire FSM task force, that we actually make sure that our porters, I think with the new isolation rooms and quarantine been set up, we're okay. And I know we're a little bit lack of doctors too. So we're asking them to keep working with the state to make sure that they're prepared when there's, I don't think, it's just a matter of time, Mr. Speaker, the way I'm looking at it. Sooner or later, it'll come to our shoreline. And I don't want to, by the next day, I'll say, oh, they found one at the Sakao fundraising last night. That's what I wanted to hear. I want to say we were able to catch it at the airport or at the seaport, and it's been contained there. And that's what I think the Fiji has been doing, and I think we should also look at that, or any other countries catching it at the borders, but not at the in the communities. So thank you, Speaker, for bringing that up.
Thank you very much, Chairman Berman. Okay, let's have your input on when you want us to do the session. It will be a 10-minute
Speaker.
session. Yes,
November
Yes.
16, November 16 looks good. That's a Monday.
yes, I'm looking at
Is that your
too.
The
birthday?
week of November 16.
Are you okay with that? So we issue the polling, and it will have that date, 16 and for 10 days. Is that okay with the Pohnpei delegation in Kusai? Yep.
Try okay.
Guam, okay.
So,
Juan, you're good?
so,
True. Happy to your
so everybody will be in Pohnpei for the next special session.
short recess subject to call of the chair.
But once
Okay, so let's go back. Conference is back in session. We're still on the miscellaneous business. Any further miscellaneous business by members?
Here.
Chairman Berman.
No, I'm good. There's no announcement.
Okay. Right. If there's no further business, we will now give the floor back to Floor Leader Harbert and to your motion for adjournment. Sign.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If there may be no objection, I move that our special session is adjourned sanatai and sayonara today.
Second.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that conference stand adjourned sine die. Those in favor of that motion, say aye.
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 Motion carried. The 8th special session of the 21st Congress is hereby adjourned and sine die.